Dave here, engineer at Vamos Bikes. Today we have the updated 2026 Rapido, and we're going to introduce you to some of the new features as well as quite a lot of the original fantastic features on this bike. Some of the things that have been added include 2 frame sizes. So we only ever had 1 frame size up to and including the 25 model, medium size one. Now we've got a small and a large frame size. So we're basically covering heights from 1.5 meters up to 2 meters in height. So basically most adults out there can find a bike within this range to suit them. The smaller frame size has got 26-inch wheels, and the larger frame size, 27.5-inch wheels. Some of the other improvements that have been made in terms of features in 2026, we've now got indicators on the bike, left and right indicators. We've also got a horn on the bike, and we've also made an update to the display. Basically, the display mounts have been changed, so we've got an aluminium mount. You can vary the position of the display quite easily, and it's super strong so that it won't get broken. This particular bike is a commuter bike, and it's really suitable for all sorts of commuting, whether you're going to work, going to uni, or just going to the shops, going to the beach. This is a great bike. Really easy to get on and off, step through frame. Comes complete with its rack on the front. Go and do the shopping or put your bag in to go to work or uni. Also has another rack on the back that you can put stuff on the back of it. Comes out of the box as a 250 watt system. Throttle locked to 6 kilometres an hour to meet Australian regulations. In New South Wales, you can still currently use 500 watts. So it's quite simple to change that so that you have 500 watts. And you can also use it for off-road purposes around the country in the 500 watt mode on private property. 2026 Rapido comes in 250 watt mode and the throttle locked at 6 kilometres an hour. If you want to change that, we basically just hold down the left indicator button for a couple of seconds, hit the minus button till we get down to the speed limit, and press the middle button, and then we can adjust the speed limit if you want to make it higher or lower. 250 watt mode has a maximum of 32 kilometres an hour, and you can put it down lower than 25 if you want. Hit the middle button to save that. Throttle limit's on. To meet regulations, your throttle should only propel the bike up to 6 kilometres an hour. If you turn it off, it'll go basically up to the limit. So press the middle button to lock that in, and then we go down to the bottom, middle button on exit, and we're back out. Now, to change from 250 watt mode to 500 watt mode, we simply hold down the middle button and the minus button for a couple of seconds, and you'll see on the screen it'll change to 500 watts. Now, you can also go into the settings and independently set your settings for your speed limit and your throttle limit in the 500 watt mode, and that won't affect what you've got set in the 250 watt mode. So you can have 2 completely different setups in the 2 and switch between the 2 depending if you're riding on the road or private property. So once again, to get into the settings, we hold the left indicator button down. We're in the settings. Hit the minus to go down to the speed limit, and hit the middle button. We can then put the speed up in the 500 watt mode up to 50. The actual max on flat ground is around 40 kilometres an hour for this bike. Downhill you go a little bit faster. So we set that one to 40, and the throttle limit's on. Want to turn that off, hit the middle button, and then just hit the minus button, and then the middle button, and that's turned the throttle limit off. To exit, go to the bottom, hit the middle button on exit. Some of the great features on this bike include the torque sensor. The torque sensor at the heart of the drive of this bike in terms of the control of the power. You can set your levels 1 through 5, and the torque sensor on level 1 applies only a little bit of motor power, and as you go up 2, 3, 4, 5, the motor power will increase with the torque you put on there. And it basically just feels like you've got a super strong pair of legs. The more you push, the more the motor will push. Feels very natural. As soon as you stop pedaling, the power immediately cuts off, and the whole bike just feels super natural. We've got 8-speed Shimano gears. We've got a big range, easily adjustable seat post. The seat post also has suspension in it, so it allows the rider a bit of comfort on the seat, and also has the suspension forks on the front of the bike. In terms of the riding position, this is a fairly upright bike, quite comfortable for cruising around the streets. And you also have the option of changing the angle on the handlebars. So it's quite simple to change this angle to make it even more upright, if you like, which is another great feature. You've got headlight on the front, tail light on the back. These are simple to put on with a dedicated light button. It also has a brake light, so when you hit the brakes, the brake light goes on the back, and it also has dedicated left and right indicators so that the people behind you can see if you're changing lanes or turning. We have a hub motor in the back, 500 watt, that can be set to 250 and 500. We have Tektro brakes, hydraulic brakes on this with motor cutouts on them, 180mm discs. So this thing rides really well, stops really well, super versatile, and some great improvements being made for 2026. And I'm sure no matter what you do, there's an application for this bike. Commuter bike, anything you do, work, uni, going to the shops, going to the beach, going to the park, riding with your friends, or just exploring around the city. This is a great option. 2026 Rapido comes in 2 colours. This one, the red, and also a blue. The battery's an integrated frame battery that is removable, 15 amp hours. You'll get 60 kilometres out of that, and even further if you're using your legs a fair bit.